At some point, we've all dreamed of having superpowers, whether it's soaring through the sky, lifting cars with ease, or knowing what someone's thinking. While those abilities belong to the world of comics, there are actually people out there with real-life powers that seem just as incredible. No movie magic, no CGI, just ordinary people with extraordinary abilities. Join us as we explore the top 20 real-life superpowers you won't believe exist. Number 20. Iceman. Wimhof, also known as the Iceman, is a man from the Netherlands who has shocked scientists all over the world. He has the strange ability to survive freezing temperatures that would normally kill the average person. What makes him even more unbelievable is that he doesn't wear anything special to protect himself from the cold. He has climbed mountains in nothing but shorts, swum under ice-covered lakes, and even run long distances in the snow barefoot. Many people thought it was fake at first, but doctors and researchers have studied him and found that his body really does something different. Wim says he learned to control his body through a special breathing method, cold training, and focus. His breathing technique involves taking deep breaths in and out for a set amount of time, followed by holding his breath. He claims this helps him control his heart rate, boost his energy, and even stop himself from feeling pain or cold. Scientists tested him and were surprised to see that he could change the way his body responds to cold. Normally, when people are exposed to freezing temperatures, their bodies panic. Blood moves away from the skin and they start shaking. But Wim's body stays calm. His blood keeps flowing and his temperature doesn't drop the way it should. In one experiment, Wim was injected with bacteria that would usually make people very sick. But Wim didn't get sick at all. His body fought off the infection like it was nothing. Scientists were so amazed that they repeated the test with other people he trained, and they also handled the bacteria better than normal. This was a major discovery. It showed that people might be able to control parts of their immune system, something we used to think was impossible. Number 19. Stephen Wiltshire. When people talk about amazing memories, they usually mean someone who remembers names or where they left their keys. But Stephen Wiltshire takes memory to a level that doesn't even seem real. He was born in London and didn't speak until he was about 5 years old. Doctors later said he had autism. At first, he didn't connect with others or show much interest in speaking, but there was one thing that always caught his attention: drawing. As a young boy, he started sketching buildings and cars with perfect detail, all from memory. Nobody taught him how. He just looked at something once, and somehow, it stayed locked in his mind. What makes Stephen truly special is what he can do after just a short ride in a helicopter. He flies over cities like New York, Tokyo, Rome, or London for only a few minutes. He doesn't take photos or notes. Then, when he sits down with a pen, he draws the entire city from memory. Every street, every building, every tiny window and rooftop is in the right place. People who live in those cities are stunned because everything is exactly where it should be. His drawings are so accurate that experts have used them to check if they missed anything on official maps. And he does all of this without needing to look back at anything. Once he sees it, it stays in his head like a photo. Stephen's brain works differently from most people. When he sees a city, he remembers every part of it without even trying. His hand moves fast, but he never gets anything wrong. He draws for hours and hours, focused and calm, without needing to stop. Some of his city drawings stretch across huge sheets of paper, more than 10 feet wide. When people watch him work, they are amazed at how he remembers so many tiny details that most of us wouldn't even notice. Number 18. Daniel Tamut. Daniel Tamut is one of the rarest minds the world has ever seen. From the outside, he looks like an ordinary man, but his brain works in a way that most people can't even imagine. He can do huge math problems in his head, faster than a calculator. But that's not even the strangest part. Daniel doesn't just see numbers like the rest of us do. To him, every number has a shape, a color, a texture, and even a personality. For example, he says the number 4 is shy, and the number 9 makes him feel uncomfortable. This condition is known as synesthesia, and in his case, it gives him a kind of superpower. When Daniel looks at numbers, he doesn't just see them, he feels them and visualizes them like artwork in his mind. That's how he can multiply numbers with over 100 digits, or find out what day of the week you were born on if you just tell him the date. He once recited the number pi to over 22,000 digits without making a mistake. That took him more than 5 hours, and he didn't even seem tired by the end. Scientists and psychologists watched him do it, and they were left speechless. Most people can only remember a few numbers at a time, but Daniel's mind stores them like pictures, which helps him remember everything perfectly. What's even more surprising is that Daniel wasn't always able to speak well. As a child, he had seizures and didn't interact with others the way most kids do. For a long time, he struggled to talk and connect with people, but over time, he found his own way of learning and thinking, which turned out to be completely unique. He even taught himself one of the hardest languages in the world, Icelandic, in only 1 week. He went on a television show in Iceland and held a full conversation in the language after just 7 days of study. Nobody had ever done something like that before, and the entire country was amazed. Number 17. Praad Johnny. For most people, going a day without food or water is already a struggle. But Praad Johnny, an Indian man, claimed he lived without eating or drinking anything for over 70 years. That's not 70 hours or 70 days, 70 years. No meals, no water, no problem. He said he was blessed by a goddess when he was a child, and ever since then, he didn't need to eat or drink. Most people laughed it off as impossible, but in 2 different hospital studies, doctors actually watched him for days. They locked him in a room with cameras, gave him no food or water, and somehow he stayed completely fine. No weight loss, no dehydration, nothing strange on his scans. His body just kept working like normal. Scientists were stunned. They still couldn't fully explain how he pulled it off. Some thought maybe it was a trick. Others believed his body had somehow trained itself to survive in a way no one else can. Whether you believe his story or not, one thing's for sure. Praad Johnny didn't live like the rest of us. And if even part of his claim is true, then he might have had one of the strangest and most unbelievable abilities the world has ever seen. Number 16. Isaai Machi. Catching a speeding bullet with a sword might sound like something out of a movie, but Isaai Machi has done something pretty close. This man from Japan holds world records for sword skills that don't even seem real. He once sliced a tiny pellet fired from an airsoft gun in mid-air, and the thing was moving faster than the eye can follow. Most people wouldn't even see it coming, but Isaai cut it clean in half. His reflexes are almost superhuman. It's like his brain processes movement faster than everyone else's. He's been trained in traditional Japanese sword art since he was a child, and over time, he turned that training into something truly unbelievable. He can cut through fruit tossed at high speed, slice through a moving baseball, and even hit targets while blindfolded. What really makes Isaai different isn't just the speed of his sword, it's the precision. He doesn't just swing wildly. Every move is measured, sharp, and perfect. Watching him in action feels less like watching a person and more like watching a machine that never misses. If real-life superpowers exist, his is pure, deadly accuracy. Number 15. Ben Underwood. Most people rely on their eyes to get around, but Ben Underwood showed that you don't need sight to see the world. He lost both of his eyes to cancer when he was just 3 years old. After surgery, he was completely blind. But unlike most blind people, Ben didn't use a cane or a guide dog. He played basketball, rode his bike, and moved through the world like he could see. People were amazed. How could a boy with no eyes do all that? Ben had taught himself echolocation, the same skill bats and dolphins use. He made clicking sounds with his tongue and listened to how the sound bounced off objects. From the echoes, he could tell where walls, cars, or furniture were. He got so good that he could tell the difference between a trash can and a parked car just by sound. His ears became his eyes. Scientists studied Ben and were amazed at how accurate he was. He could walk through a crowded room, grab door handles, and avoid obstacles with ease, all by listening. No one taught him this skill. He figured it out himself by paying close attention to sound. Ben lived like any other kid. He went to school, made friends, and stayed active. He refused to let blindness define him. People who met him said he was brave, full of life, and inspiring. He turned what seemed like a weakness into a strength. Ben passed away at age 16 when his cancer returned, but his story still inspires people everywhere. Number 14. Dave Mullins. There's a guy from New Zealand named Dave Mullins who can do something that sounds almost fake. He once swam more than 787 feet underwater without coming up for air. That's about the length of 2.5 football fields. No oxygen tank, no special gear, just one deep breath and pure focus. What makes Dave different isn't just how long he can hold his breath, it's how calm he stays while doing it. At one point, he held his breath for over 8 minutes. Most people start to panic after 1 or 2, but Dave trains his body and mind to stay relaxed, even when his lungs are burning. He uses a trick called lung packing, which stretches his lungs so they can hold more air than usual. It sounds painful, but it helps him go even longer without breathing. Watching him underwater, you'd think he's part fish. He moves slowly, almost like time is standing still, and somehow makes it look easy. While the rest of us are gasping after a short swim, Dave is gliding through the water like he was born there. If anyone in real life comes close to being Aquaman, it's definitely this guy. Number 13. Raj Moan Nair. Raj Moan Nair, a man from India, has a body that science can't fully explain. Most people would be seriously injured or killed if they touched high-voltage electricity, but Raj Moan can let it pass through him without any harm. He has been tested with electrical currents strong enough to knock out a regular person, yet he stays calm and barely feels anything. He can even power up light bulbs and other devices just by touching them. People have seen him hold wires and light up a bulb as if he were a human battery. Doctors have studied Raj Moan and discovered that his skin has much higher resistance than normal. This means electricity doesn't pass through his body in the same way it does for most people. While electricity usually damages a person's heart, muscles, and brain, Raj Mohan's body seems to redirect the current over his skin instead of deep into his body. This strange ability first appeared when Raj Moan was young. After a family accident, he accidentally touched a live wire, expecting to be harmed, but nothing happened. From then on, he realized he could handle electricity without injury. He started showing people what he could do, and crowds gathered to watch him handle wires and let powerful electric currents pass through him. Researchers have speculated that Raj Mohan's skin might be thicker in a unique way, or that his nerves are built differently, but the full explanation remains unclear. Raj Moan doesn't call himself a superhero, but many people see him as something extraordinary. His ability isn't based on machines or magic, it's just part of who he is. While electricity is dangerous to most, Raj Moan walks through it like it's nothing. Number 12. Natasha Demkina. In Russia, there's a woman named Natasha Demkina who became well known for claiming she could see inside people's bodies with her own eyes. She first told her mother about this ability when she was a teenager. Natasha said she could see organs, bones, and even problems like tumors or fractures just by looking at someone. At first, her family thought she was imagining things, but then she started pointing out real health issues in friends and neighbors, things they hadn't told her about. Some of her observations were later confirmed by doctors. Soon, people began coming to her house, asking for help. Natasha didn't ask for money and was just a student who believed she had a special gift. As more people came and her story spread, news outlets got interested. She even traveled to other countries, where scientists and doctors tested her abilities. In one test, she correctly pointed out where a man had a metal pin in his body. In another, she noticed a lung problem before doctors did. Not everyone believed her. Some scientists thought she was just guessing or using small clues like body language. Others said she might have a good memory or be very observant. Natasha admitted she wasn't always right and said stress could make it harder to see clearly. Still, she got enough right that many people believed in her. Later, she opened a clinic to help people using her inner vision. She said she didn't want to replace doctors, only to help them spot problems sooner. Whether or not her ability is scientifically proven, she has helped many and continues to fascinate people. Some call her a fake, others call her a miracle, but her story still draws attention. Number 11. Michel Lotito. Michel Lotito, a man from France, became famous for his shocking ability to eat things no one else would even think of. While most people eat normal food, Michel ate glass, metal, rubber, and even entire bicycles. Over his life, he ate televisions, razor blades, shopping carts, and, incredibly, a Cessna 150. It took him 2 years to finish eating the plane, piece by piece. Doctors couldn't believe what they saw. Michel's stomach, throat, and mouth were all normal, despite the fact that most people would be seriously hurt by swallowing sharp metal. His stomach lining was twice as thick as normal, and he had special saliva to protect his insides. To make metal easier to chew, he would break it into small pieces, mix it with oil, and eat it like a snack. Oddly, he said foods like bananas and hard-boiled eggs made him feel sick, but metal never did. Michel's unusual habit began when he was a child, as a result of a condition called pica, which made him crave non-food items. What started as a strange phase became a lifelong habit, and he eventually turned it into a performance. He traveled the world, eating glass and metal in front of crowds who watched in shock. Doctors tested him repeatedly, but couldn't explain how he did it. People began calling him Monsieur Mange Tout, or Mr. Eat All. Michel is said to have eaten over 2 pounds of metal per day on average. He didn't do it for fame or money, it just felt normal to him. Michel passed away in his 50s, but not due to his eating habits. He died of natural causes, leaving behind a story that still baffles and amazes people. Number 10. Javier Bay. Javier Bay, born in Spain, was different from a young age. He was tall and thin, but his body had other unique traits. His arms were longer than usual, his fingers were thin and bent in ways that didn't seem real, and his movements were almost dreamlike, or like something from a nightmare. Doctors discovered that he had Marfan syndrome, a rare condition that affects the connective tissues in the body, making bones grow longer and joints more flexible. Instead of feeling embarrassed about standing out, Javier embraced his differences and used them to his advantage. His tall, thin frame and unusual movements caught the attention of movie directors, particularly those making horror films. Over the years, he played some of the scariest and most memorable monsters on screen. His body movements did most of the work. He didn't need much makeup or special effects. In films like Mama, REC, and The Conjuring 2, Javier's ability to crawl, twist, and slink across the screen made him look almost inhuman. For many viewers, it's hard to believe that a real person is performing those movements, as they seem like computer effects, but it's all him. His control over his body is so precise that it almost looks like a spider or other strange creature is performing instead of a man. Javier has said that, growing up, he always felt different, but he found strength in that difference. Acting gave him a place where his unusual body wasn't just accepted, it was needed. Directors sought him out because no one else could move or look the way he did. Javier doesn't just act with his face or voice, he uses every part of his body to create characters that stick with audiences long after the film ends. Number 9. Kevin Richardson. Kevin Richardson, known as the Lion Whisperer, has a unique bond with lions that most people can't even imagine. Unlike a zookeeper or trainer, Kevin interacts with wild lions by playing with them, lying next to them, and letting them lick his face. These lions, raised in wildlife parks, could easily harm someone, but they treat Kevin like part of their pride. Kevin's connection with lions began when he worked at a wildlife park near Johannesburg. Instead of using tools or force to control the animals, He built trust by spending time with them and observing their behavior. Over time, the lions began to accept him, allowing him into their space. Kevin doesn't seek fame from his work. He wants to protect lions, who are endangered due to hunting and habitat loss. Through his bond with them, he teaches people that lions are not dangerous monsters, but intelligent, emotional creatures worth saving. Experts have watched Kevin walk through a group of lions without fear, and while they don't fully understand how he does it, they agree that his relationship with them is rare. Lions usually don't accept humans, especially adult males, into their space, but Kevin communicates with them in a way that others can't. Though his interactions are dangerous, Kevin's goal is to show love and respect for the animals and raise awareness about their protection. Number 8. Dean Carnazas. Dean Carnazas is one of the most unbelievable runners in the world. What makes him so special isn't just his love for running, it's that he can run for hundreds of miles without stopping to rest. That means no sleep, no long breaks, just non-stop running for days. Most people would collapse from pain or exhaustion, but not Dean. His body is built in a way that helps his muscles recover while he's still moving. It's a rare trait that doctors and scientists find hard to fully explain. Once, he ran over 310 miles in just a few days without sleeping at all. He's also done back-to-back marathons, and even ran across the entire United States. While most runners need days or even weeks to recover, Dean just keeps going. His heart, legs, and lungs seem to work like a machine, but it's all natural. Some researchers believe his body doesn't build up lactic acid the way others do, which means he doesn't feel the same kind of burning pain that forces most athletes to stop. His muscles can keep working without shutting down. It's almost like his body resets itself while he's still running. Number 7. Kim Peek. Kim Peek was not your average man. He had a brain that worked in a way most people can't even imagine. From a very young age, he could remember everything he read, word for word. By the time he was an adult, he had read and memorized more than 12,000 books. That means if you asked him about a book he read 20 years ago, he could still tell you what page a certain line was on. His memory was so sharp that he could recall full maps, phone books, and even calendars. Tell him your birthday, and he'd instantly tell you what day of the week you were born. It wasn't just facts either. He could connect information in ways that left people shocked. Doctors say his brain was missing something that normally connects the left and right sides, but somehow that made him even smarter in certain ways. It's like his brain found a shortcut to store and pull out information faster than anyone else. Kim's unique mind caught the attention of Hollywood, and he became the real-life inspiration for the movie Rain Man. Even though he had trouble with simple daily tasks like dressing himself or walking normally, his mental abilities were beyond anything science could fully explain. People would come from all over just to test him, and he always amazed them with his answers. Number 6. Miroslav Maggola. Miroslav Maggola has a strange gift that has left many people scratching their heads. He says he can stick metal objects to his body using only his mind. It sounds like something from a movie, but he's been filmed balancing spoons, forks, and even heavier tools on his chest, arms, and forehead. What's even more surprising is that these objects don't seem to fall off, even when he moves around or leans forward. Miroslav believes his power comes from a mix of mental focus and control over the energy in his body. He claims that by using his thoughts, he can change the way his body works and create a magnetic pull strong enough to hold objects in place. He says it's not glue, not sweat, and definitely not a trick. Some people say it could be static electricity or just sticky skin, but so far, no one has been able to prove how he really does it. He's been tested by scientists and shown his skills on TV, but even the experts have no clear answer. Some believe it could be a mix of rare body chemistry and intense concentration. Others just think it's something we don't fully understand yet. Whether it's science, a secret trick, or something else entirely, Miroslav's so-called magnetic body continues to amaze and confuse everyone who sees it. Before we move on, it is time for today's subscriber's pick. Take a close look at this image. It shows a very rare eye condition called polychoria. This happens when someone has two pupils in one eye instead of one. It sounds strange, but it's real and very uncommon. Polychoria can be something you're born with, or it can develop later due to other problems with the iris. In some cases, people don't even realize they have it until they're adults. Scientists are still trying to understand exactly why it happens. This condition can sometimes make it harder for the eye to work properly, especially when it comes to focusing light. And here's an odd detail. Some people with polychoria also have very long eyelashes. So, while most people worry about wearing glasses or getting eye exams, imagine finding out you've had two pupils all along. Pretty wild, right? Let us know what you think about this unusual condition in the comments. Number 5. Bieber Struja. Bieber Struja isn't your typical man. His body seems to defy the rules of biology and physics. While electricity is something most people avoid at all costs, Bieber can channel it through his body without suffering a scratch. He's been seen lighting up bulbs with a mere touch, holding live wires with no visible injury, and standing unfazed as current flows through him, almost like a living power outlet. Even more baffling is that he feels no pain during these demonstrations. For the average person, such high-voltage contact would cause burns, muscle spasms, or even death. But Bieber's body shows none of the usual signs of distress. There are no burns, no convulsions, nothing but calm composure. Scientists have taken interest in his rare condition, running various tests to understand how his body manages what should be lethal. Some experts suggest he may have unusually high electrical resistance, which could redirect current away from critical organs. Yet despite these investigations, a complete scientific explanation still eludes them. Bieber first stumbled upon his strange ability by accident as a young man when he grabbed a live wire, and nothing happened. Rather than pain, he felt nothing. That moment sparked a journey of self-experimentation, each step pushing the limits of what the human body should be able to endure. Today, Bieber uses his unique talent to challenge what we think we know about electricity, biology, and the hidden capabilities of the human body. Number 4. Ratha Krishnan Velu. Velu, widely recognized as King Tooth, possesses a strength that defies belief. He can tow enormous vehicles using nothing but his teeth. Without any machinery or hidden support, Velu simply grips a rope in his mouth and pulls, relying entirely on his jaw power. Spectators have witnessed him move everything from cars to buses and even train coaches, all driven by the force of his bite alone. His incredible talent emerged during his youth, when he first realized he could withstand intense pressure with his teeth. Through gradual training and determination, he built up his ability to handle increasingly heavier loads. While most people risk damaging their teeth doing something as simple as opening a bottle, Velu's jaw functions like industrial-strength clamps. His record-breaking feats have taken him to international stages and earned him a place in various books of world records. What makes Velu's talent even more astounding is that he uses no safety devices or reinforcements. According to him, the keys to his success are mental discipline, steady practice, and laser-sharp focus. Medical professionals and researchers have examined his mouth, baffled by how his jaw can endure such immense strain without injury. Yet, despite their efforts, the exact reason behind Velu's incredible oral strength remains a mystery to science. Number 3. Daniel Browning Smith. While most people consider touching their toes an achievement, Daniel Browning Smith takes flexibility to a whole new level, literally folding his body in ways that seem physically impossible. Known as Rubber Boy, Daniel can slip through objects smaller than a house cat, twist his torso in a full rotation while his feet remain forward, and even slide through a tennis racket, all without showing a hint of discomfort. His extraordinary abilities stem from a rare genetic condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This disorder gives him unusually loose joints and highly elastic skin, allowing his body to bend and contort far beyond the normal human range. He can dislocate and relocate his limbs on command, all without pain, an ability that both amazes and mystifies those who witness it. Daniel's extreme flexibility has earned him multiple world records and appearances on international stages and television shows. Audiences are often stunned, sometimes even disturbed, as he twists himself into shapes that seem more suited to a CGI creature than a real person. But for Daniel, it's just how his body works. No illusions, no camera tricks, just an incredible blend of biology and body control. Number 2. Joe Cameron. For most people, pain is the body's built-in alarm system. Touch something hot, stub a toe, get a paper cut, and your nerves scream in response. But for Joe Cameron, that alarm never rings. She's one of the rare few who feel virtually no physical pain. In fact, she once leaned against a scalding oven and only realized something was wrong when she noticed the smell of burning skin. No shock, no flinch, just quiet confusion. But Joe's condition goes beyond just a lack of pain. She also doesn't experience much fear or anxiety. Doctors eventually discovered that she carries a rare genetic mutation that disrupts the way pain signals are transmitted and boosts levels of natural mood-enhancing chemicals like endorphins. Essentially, her nervous system is wired to stay calm, even in situations that would normally cause extreme discomfort or panic. For much of her life, Joe assumed she was just tough. It wasn't until she underwent surgery in her 60s and didn't require any pain relief that doctors began to investigate further. Their findings placed her at the center of groundbreaking research into how pain works and how it might be controlled. Joe's unique biology offers both advantages and dangers. While she can breeze through injuries or medical procedures that would leave others reeling, the absence of pain can also mean missing signs of serious harm. Still, her upbeat and resilient nature, paired with her almost superhuman resistance to suffering, continues to fascinate scientists and challenge everything we thought we knew about the human body. Number 1. Derek Paravacini. Derek Paravacini came into the world facing immense challenges. Born 3 months premature and left blind due to oxygen therapy complications, his doctors feared he wouldn't survive, let alone thrive. On top of that, brain damage added another layer of difficulty to his early life. But despite all odds, Derek developed a gift so extraordinary that it continues to stun anyone who hears him play. By the age of 4, Derek could sit at a piano and reproduce any song he had just heard, perfectly, and without ever seeing the keys or reading a single note of sheet music. His memory for music is absolute. Once he hears a melody, it's stored in his mind forever. He can instantly play it back in any key, blend styles, improvise with flair, and combine multiple pieces as if he were composing them himself. This remarkable talent is the result of savant syndrome, a rare condition where individuals with cognitive disabilities exhibit profound abilities in a specific area. For Derek, that area is music. His catalog of remembered pieces stretches into the thousands, covering everything from classical masterpieces to jazz standards, all played with technical precision and genuine emotion. Although he faces difficulties with simple daily tasks like counting change or tying his shoes, something remarkable happens when he sits at a piano. His limitations disappear. Music becomes his language, his freedom, and his connection to the world. In a field where most musicians train for decades to reach mastery, Derek listens once and then performs like a virtuoso. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in our next video.